The time has come for The Bear to return. The Bear season 4 is upon us, and in preparation, anticipation, whatever you want to call it, for season 4, I decided to take my season 3 video from last year where I talked about every episode, blah, 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 hour and a half long video. I decided to take that and cut it up and only do like the little highlight moments, big moments, whatever you want to call it, and cut it down to essentially what I'm calling The Bear season 3 speedrun. So yeah, I compiled what I consider my like highlight moments from that episode by episode breakdown video, and here it is for you to prepare you for season 3, unless you're the type of person that likes to watch the whole season before the show, which is me. I am in fact rewatching the entire show right now in anticipation for season 4, but if you're someone that just likes quick little videos to like rehash your memory, this is for you, and I hope you enjoy that.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Okay, so I feel like I can kind of talk about this first episode in more of like an overall sense because of like the way it was done and like what happened in it. So basically we're kind of moving all over the place in this episode, which at first felt very overwhelming and confusing. I was very confused, and then it hit me, okay, we're flashbacking. So yeah, we were truly just jumping all around in this first episode, past, present, future. I don't know. I didn't know what time frame we were in at most points. Maybe it was the future, maybe it was the past. I didn't know what was going on, but at the same time I liked it, and at the same time I loved it. It was interesting and different and fun. Not necessarily fun. Well, it got fun because I was confused. Overall, it was just such a quiet first episode, and I really loved this beginning. I don't know, it kind of just felt like we were just like catching up with our guys, like slowly catching up with our guys, instead of like just jumping right into like post what happened that first night at the restaurant, or skipping a couple weeks, like we're just jumping into like a whole new plot line or whatever. Like we were just like slowly catching on, like kind of like picking up where we left off, but like still like slowly doing it, you know? And now here are some quick tidbit moments that I want to like talk about that happened in this episode, because I just want to briefly talk about them for funsies. I don't know. So the first Sid moment on my screen, I did in fact scream and awooga at the screen. I don't care. I'm not embarrassed to admit it. I love her. And then even though in that scene, like she literally looked so sad and also did not say any words in that first little moment, I don't care. Sydney's my girl through and through. I will scream and I will awooga. I'm not embarrassed to say it. And then the next thing I want to say, the first Sid Carmi scene, awooga again. My platonic soulmates forever and always. I love them. Final two tidbits that I want to talk about really fast. Carmi's voicemail to Ritchie, loved it. And then Sid's voicemail to Marcus, love, also loved it. Thank you. So we start with the Sid opening scene, and I adore a Sid opening scene, so immediately this episode became 5 stars for me. I love the dynamic between Sid and her dad, and I will not be explaining it further. It's just, I love it, and I'm not gonna explain further on why I do. It speaks for itself. Anyway though, overall this episode was very like one take, one scene kind of a vibe, one shot kind of a vibe, which I loved, and it honestly made it very chaotic, but in a good way. Here are some random specific moments that felt very important, and I kind of want to talk about them really fast. First, Carmi is definitely giving the vibe that he's trying to like overcompensate for like being locked in the fridge during opening night, and for also feeling like he's been like wasting his time and like not giving his all to the restaurant. Like he's definitely trying to overcompensate by now making this like whole non-negotiables thing, and now being like so obsessed with them like getting a star now, even though like Sid wanted a star and he was like it's not worth it, like who cares, like it's a trap. And now he's like, you know what, like let's get a star. And I feel like he's just trying to overcompensate for the fact that he felt like he wasn't there when like he was there. You just had a relationship with her. Third moment that I want to talk about, which was that end moment with Marcus, where he is like fully behind like these non-negotiables and fully behind like what Carmi's trying to do to make the restaurant succeed, because he wants it to succeed, and like he knows that like he's meant to be there because of like what happened with his mom, and like how he's completely okay with the fact that like, you know, when she passed away, he was like working in the restaurant, like I think it was like literally opening night, he was there instead of like with her when she died, and he's like okay with that because like he knows that she wants him to be there. He's okay with the fact that he was with his chosen family when she died, because like that's all he has now. He's meant to be there, they're all meant to be there, this place is meant to succeed. And yeah, so it seems like Marcus is the only one kind of on board fully with these non-negotiable vibes and like the vibes that Carmi's like spewing right now, which is cool to see, honestly. Also, I fully skipped I literally went from first moment to third moment, and I'm now realizing that I skipped the second one. So the second moment that I wanted to talk about before I accidentally went into the Marcus moment was there was a moment where Sid was like kind of like freaking, it seemed like she was like kind of like freaking out a bit about like the new menu that like Carmi suggested. And I'm kind of wondering, because when she first saw it and she was like, you changed everything, like she definitely seemed like, hey, we're a team here, you can't just like switch up on everything like without consulting me or like without talking to me about it. But then as he was explaining the menu, she was like, okay, yeah, and we're gonna do that, and like this with that, and like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Like, she seemed on board with it. Like, they're like, okay, we're back to being here. But then there was just like little moments where she seemed like she was like kind of not super chill with it, like not super down. Like, she gets that what he did is the best thing, but it's still the fact of like, you did this without me, and we're supposed to be partners and team, and like we're supposed to come up with the stuff together, and you're kind of doing it without me, which is not chill. And I'm fully stand with her, like, that's not chill. I don't know, it was like a very short little scene, and it happened twice, so I don't know if I might be reading into it too much, but it's feeling like maybe she feels like it's more his than like theirs right now, which sucks. And I fully might be reading into a 2-second moment that happened in this episode, but I'm just like, I'm predicting, we'll see what happens, I guess. I don't know, it was kind of giving those vibes though. And then it's also interesting though, because like now he's making them sign like a contract where it's like a fully like, this is a partnership deal. So yeah, like it's feeling very professional. I don't know, it seemed like she kind of didn't want that anymore. I'm getting like mixed signal vibes. I want to see how this plays out. I'm gonna stop predicting things, and we're just gonna see how this plays out for right now. But that's all I have to say about that. So we begin at the funeral for Marcus's mom, and honestly, Lionel Boyce, the actor who plays Marcus, served down with his little, I want to say like monologue, like that's what it, I don't know, acting speak, it was a monologue, but like what's it called at the funeral, like obituary? I can't think of the word. Eulogy. Him reading his mom's eulogy basically was great. I need to see this actor do more things later in life, please. Next, this episode's like a pretty like another like simple-ish one to explain. Lots of things happen, but in a very like easy way for me to like repeat and rehash and talk about right now. So basically we go through the motions of like doors for a bit. So the restaurant being open and the chaos and like the good moments, sorta. I feel like there's more chaos moments than good moments that come along with like it being open. And let me go through a few key moments that felt like important-ish for me to write down and I kind of want to talk about. All right, here we go. So Ritchie writes his own list of non-negotiables, which Carmi hates. Of course he hates. Somebody's gonna kill somebody by the end of this. Like, if they don't make up soon, like somebody's gonna murder someone here, and I don't know who's gonna be, and I don't want to lose either of them. So that's awesome. No, it's not. I'm scared. Next, we see some little moments of Tina just trying her absolute hardest and just trying to do her best. It's like very small, like little minor moments of her like learning how to make a new dish and her just kind of being like flustered in this new like kitchen environment, which makes sense, and I like that they're showing that. And this makes me so excited for her episode, which is directed by Io. I haven't been looking online, so I don't know when it's coming, but when it does come, I'll be excited, baby. I will be excited. Next was like probably the funniest moment. It shouldn't have been so funny, but I'm sorry it was. So basically Fack is like, hey, I want to go like serve these people. Like he's just like front of house. He's not supposed to be hands and serving people. He's just like greeting. I feel like he's kind of like a shadow of Ritchie. Like whatever Ritchie's doing, he's like kind of like right there. Like they're kind of like an assistant kind of vibe. But he's like, oh no, I want to try my hand at serving people. And Carmi's like, you sure? He's like, yes, I got this. Like I can do it. So he serves like, I think it's like a broth tea looking thing. So he serves it to the people. He's like, hey guys, this is this dish, blah blah blah, I'm supposed to pour it in front of you. He pours his broth into the bowl and then he's like, enjoy, and then he walks away. And then he walks away with the food in his hand. And it really took me a moment. I was like, the food, bro, you're supposed to give them the food. You're supposed to give them the food. He goes back to the kitchen. He's like, I did it. I poured it in front of them. And Carmi's like, are you literally joking me? Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now? What are you doing? Are you insane? Blah, blah, blah. And starts like going off on him as expected, of course. Yeah, that was hilarious. It shouldn't have been so hilarious. I kind of felt bad for him, but it was a bit hilarious. I'm sorry, Fack. I do love you though. Next, we see a moment of Ebro literally struggling at this like to-go booth, because they put a to-go booth for like sandwiches, the people that just want sandwiches, whatever. They have that, and Ebro's running it, and he's like struggling, like doing the order. He's like, John H, where are you, John H? And I need him to get some help. It shouldn't just be him back there. One, because there was never just one person working in that kitchen when it was just a sandwich shop. So why would the to-go sandwich shop need just one person there? At least two, maybe even three should be there. Because like it looks like he's like taking order, or maybe it's just like a delivery, like people just like order online and then come pick it up. I don't know. But like if it's not that, he's taking the order, making it, serving it. Give my man a break. Give him some help. Please, please, please. Then we see good old Unky Cicero freaking out. I'm pretty sure that's his name. I'm sorry if I just literally forgot it, but I'm pretty sure that's his name. But we see Unky Cicero freaking out because his money is literally leaving his pockets. He's not even doing anything. Money's leaving his pockets. And he's like, what the heck? $11,000 for butter?
I have a bill in my hands for $11,268 for butter. Buddy, what is it? The fucking rare Transylvanian five-titted goat? We cannot fucking keep this up.
It's Orwellian.
It's dystopian butter?
What?
What are you talking about?
No. Orwell, Vermont.
Orwell, Vermont.
Yes.
Of course. I'm gonna send him 20 fucking grand.
It's the best.
Oh yeah, suck me.
So he's complaining, valid concerns, he's losing a lot of money. I would also be complaining. Next and finally, for the last thing, I kind of want to talk about this, which we kind of see throughout different moments in the episode, but I just want to talk about it last. So Sid is absolutely slaying right now. She's like so cool, calm, collected. She's really good at like dealing with the arguments and all the yelling, especially between Carmen and Ritchie right now, because they're just like I said, somebody's gonna die. And I don't know if Sid's gonna be able to stop that, but like the animosity between them is crazy boots. So yeah, but Sid's like really good at like calming that and like keeping arguments down, just like kind of like chilling Carmen for the most part. Like she's really good at that. But I need to know what's going on in her head, because there were little random moments where like we would just get a shot of her like looking a certain way, and I just want to know what's going on in there. I don't know, like I feel like she's like getting like detached, or like she's just like not into it, she's not happy, like going through these motions of like, you know, doors, how many times am I gonna say that, but, like going through all those motions. Like it's been a month and it just seems like she's like not happy. I don't want to make any conclusions, I don't know what's going on in there. I want to know though, I want to know so bad what's wrong with her, because like I know there's something deeper there, and I love Sydney, and I just need her to be happy, and it doesn't look like she's happy right now, so I'm stressed and I just want to know what's going on in there. So I'm not gonna jump to conclusions, I'm not gonna say certain things, but just know, Sydney, I need to know what's going on in there. Especially the last shot of the episode, there was just something about that look on her face, like I don't know, I feel like I don't know man, and we're gonna find out soon, I guess. But wow, I'm stressed, I don't know what's going on. Let's get into episode 4. No small talk, let's just jump right in, baby. Okay, so we start with the Carmi x Claire flashback moment scene, which is cute. I don't know, I still feel indifferent about Claire specifically, and that's only because I feel like I know nothing about her. I mean, in this flashback moment I learned that she almost killed someone. I'm kidding I'm kidding, but like not really. It was a little doctor mishap, whatever, like not that big of a deal, honestly. Well, kind of a big deal, but also like it was an accident, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know why I brought that up, but yeah, I still feel kind of indifferent about her. But like I said, I feel like I know nothing about her aside from her being Carmi's love interest that, like, you know, he fumbled the bag at this point. I feel like we're never gonna get any more depth to her aside from being Carmi's love interest, so I feel like I'll always just feel indifferent. Like it just feels like there's nothing more. Like she just feels so surface level, and I'm like, let me freaking get in there and see what she's about. Now for this episode, let's basically go scene by scene. I might exclude a couple scenes. This is just like the stuff that like felt important to me and the stuff that I want to talk about, so let's just go kind of scene by scene of what happened in this episode. Sid's getting an apartment, and her dad, like she's showing her dad the place. She's like, so what do you think? Blah blah, you hate it, don't you? And her dad is being so dad about it. He's like, do you feel how thin these walls are? Like blah blah. She's like, no, I haven't felt the walls. He's like, okay, maybe you just like hold off on getting it. And she's like, well, I already signed the lease. Clink clink, keys clinking there. Sound effect, no, probably not. But yeah, her dad's being so dad about it, and I quite love it. I love their little relationship. Can we tap more into that, please? I love him, I love her, I love them together. Thank you. Then we have such a sweet, wholesome little moment with Ritchie and his daughter Eva. I think that was her name. Eva, I can't remember. It's spelled with an E, but I don't know if it's pronounced Eva or Eva. I can't remember, I'm sorry. But sweet little moment, and he's just so good. Great dad, great person. Ritchie, I love you. Ritchie, I love you. Whoa, oh my gosh. Next, Peter. We get Peter. Peter's here finally. Finally we see Peter. Hello, hi Peter. We finally see him, and he's being so husband and cute to Sugar, and I just love them together. They're just good. You know, everybody's like, Peter's corny, Peter's a cornball, he's cringe and cheesy, but that's what Sugar needs, dude. Like she needs that stability, she needs that normalness that she never had when she was like growing up. So I love Peter. And also, I'm gonna call it right now, he's gonna miss the birth of his child. He's gonna miss the birth of that child, because it was established that he's going on a little trip for a week, and then he's coming back, and there's gonna be like 2 weeks left, or like 1 week left from the due date, and she's ready to go. Sugar's ready to pop, and I think it's gonna happen before he's back. And also because like 2 weeks to go, but she's in the most high stress situation work-wise. Like that baby's coming sooner rather than later. I'm sorry to say it. I feel like it's gonna happen in this week that he's gone, and I just smell it from a mile away. If I'm wrong, let's not talk about it. If I'm wrong, I did not say that. If I'm right though, I did say that. Next, we have a little Sid x Carmi moment, you know, some restaurant talk in the beginning. I feel like there's like some slight tension there where it's like, it feels like we're not on the same wavelength. It feels like we're just like right past each other. You know, we're not like meshing super well. Like we're there, but we're not there. You know what I mean? That's the kind of tension I'm feeling between them right now, restaurant work-wise. But then also in this scene, we get a moment where it feels like they are, you know, besties at the end of the day. Like he's asking her like, oh, did you get the apartment? She's like, yeah. And then she's like, oh, you're still quitting smoking? He's like, yeah, like 41 days, 40 days, 41 days, one of those numbers. And then she tries the nicotine gum and is like, this is disgusting, which is valid. I could imagine that would taste absolutely horrid. But yeah, very nice scene to see. I feel like it just shows that at the end of the day, they're besties, man. Like, I don't know, it was a very short scene of them like talking about restaurant and then like going into like personal, you know, normal friend things. But still, I feel like it's important to include stuff like that, even if it's like short. And maybe I'm reading into it a little bit too much, but I'll take the crumbs I can get, baby. I will take the crumbs I can get. And then we have a Sugar x Ritchie moment, which I love because I love this duo, especially considering like how much like anger, like animosity was between them in the beginning, like last season, building up the restaurant, blah, blah, blah. And, like she was there full time, he's obviously there full time, and like there was just a lot of like clashing there. It's just nice to see like they have a friendship. It's really cute and I love it. I love unlikely duos in TV shows and stuff, you know what I mean? Like I love a scene between two characters I never expect to happen, but it hits like perfectly. I just never expected them to get to this place with each other, and I quite love it. And it just once again shows how much, you know, Richie's character has turned into this mature guy and etc, and how he's just like so like such a good person, and he's like really showing that and like showing up, and it's awesome. And then we end this episode with finding out that the Tribune is coming, the Chicago Tribune, I'm assuming they just said the Tribune, magazine, newspaper, whatever, is coming to take pictures of the restaurant, which means that they have already been reviewed and nobody knew about it. Nobody knew that the food critic had come. And yeah, I didn't talk about this, but at the beginning of the episode, they were like starting to prep for food critics to come. They're like, these are the people, these are the faces to look out for. If somebody comes in with one of these faces, you know, when these people come in, code red, we need to snap in, tap in, all of that, whatever. And now they found out like, oh crap, it's already happened. We've already been reviewed. So that's awesome. That's great. Yeah. Woo! So we start with Sid helping Marcus clean out his mom's house. And then we get the conversation that I've kind of been waiting for. You know, them finally talking about, hey, remember when I low-key asked you on a date? Oh, that's crazy. Mainly we see that from Marcus's side, and he's like, oh, I made things weird. Like, I'm sorry about that. And she's like, it's fine, let's not talk about it. So we only really see his like thought perspective on things. We don't really see Sid's. And I could see it going either way. That means like, yeah, it definitely meant nothing. And like, she also is like, yeah, that was a bit weird. We should definitely not go down that path, whatever. But then I can also see her just like, you know, burying on her feelings. There's bigger fish to fry right now than me wondering if I like Marcus or whatever, like if something could potentially maybe happen between us, you know? So I don't know, will we ever come back to it? If we don't, I get it. If we do, I would also get it. So I don't know. Next we find out that Miss Olivia Colman's restaurant is closing, Chef Terry, which is not good news, because that was literally, if I'm not crazy and like mistaken right now, that was literally considered like the best restaurant in the world. It's been open for a really long time. But we later see Richie's talking to one of the worker girls, and it wasn't really about like money or whatever. It was mainly, they got the vibe of like Chef Terry was just like over it, you know? Like, and I guess like once you're out of inspo, then what's the point? I mean, not what's the point, but like I would get why you would then be like, it's time to move on to other things and close down something old, maybe try to find something new. I don't know, but that's what the girl was like kind of saying. Then we get a Marcus x Sugar moment, which was so like unexpected but awesome. Like I said before, I love unlikely duos in shows, like little duo moments, and I loved it. It was so cute. I loved it, and that's all I have to say. I loved it. Next, we're finally about to get Eber some help in that to-go bar booth, whatever, to-go door, window, to-go window, and I'm so excited about that. Thank God. Carmi's finally realizing that. Sugar agrees, and that's awesome to me. Then we meet the Mr. Computer guy. I can't remember his exact like title. I know we mentioned him like briefly before, but now I'm like blanking on like what his exact title is and like what exactly he does. But what I got from that scene of like him being here, whatever, is that he's kind of just like an analytics numbers guy trying to help them like save money in like different places. I was kind of with him. I was like, okay, I get you. You're cool. Until he was like, we need to get rid of the pastry chef. We need to get rid of Marcus. And then that man is on my list now. And no, I hate him personally. And then I love how Sugar was immediately like, nope. We are not getting rid of Marcus. No. If you try to get rid of Marcus, I will murder you.
Do you need a pastry chef?
That's Marcus.
Do you need a Marcus?
Yeah, we need a Marcus.
Can you get a cheaper Marcus?
Computer.
Natalie.
I've known you for 35 years. You coached Mikey's Little League team. You're nice to Pete. If you fuck with Marcus, I will murder you.
Chef.
And then we have another unlikely duo moment between Cicero and Sid, which is cool. And it's also kind of like a random like heart-to-heart moment. Like he's talking to her about like how he feels that it's kind of like his fault for like what happened with the kids. He feels like he could have done more then, and like now like he's trying to make up for lost time in a way. But then it's like, oh, I just got this guy a restaurant. Like, is that like am I too crazy right now? But Sid's like, no, like you're here, and that's like all that matters. Like you're here right now that's great. That's awesome. So yeah, that was a cute little heart-to-heart moment. He's like, Sid, you better sign those papers. Are we gonna be partners or not? She's like, yeah, of course, like, yeah, I'm gonna sign. I've just been busy, like, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I am so confused about what's going on with her. I don't know. I don't get it. Something's building. Something is building in there. Something's building internally, deep in her brain. I don't know. And I'm scared to see what we're building to. At the end of the day, the verdict just got in. I don't know what's going on. So that's awesome. And then we end this episode with a moment where Carmi's like looking through like boxes and like he finds like some old pictures of him and his mom and like blah blah blah. And honestly, I am ready for my Jamie Lee Curtis cameo, baby. And I know that the cameo, if it's like a present day one and not like a flashback scene we're getting from her, I know it's gonna be so interesting to see, mainly because Sugar's been avoiding her mom like the plague right now. Like she's been dodging her calls, not calling her back, blah 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 blah. Literally her mom was calling her this episode and she declined it. Like this is going to be very interesting when this cameo finally happens. I'm very interested to see what that combo is going to be like. If it's a present day, if it's a flashback, I think we can expect the expected, but if it's not a flashback, if it's present day, it's going to be interesting to see, to say the least. That sounds really weird. Before we get into it, cat came really fast. Hello. Aww. That was awesome. Cool. So let's just jump right in. Episode 6, we get to Tina's episode. Edebiri directorial debut, baby. I have prayed and hoped for times like these. So basically this whole thing is a flashback episode. We learn about Tina pre-working at the Bear. She was working at this job. I don't know the exact thing. I think it was like data entry, something with like numbers, office job kind of a vibe. And she gets laid off from that job. So then we go through like a whole like motions of her trying to find a new job. She literally gets fired from her job, and then the next day she's like, okay, I'm going out. I'm gonna find something, grind. Like I'm not taking a break, no morning period. Like I'm going out and finding another job. And it was just a lot of that for like most of the episode of her just like trying to find something new. A lot of rejections, a lot of like going into places and people being like, we don't take resumes like in person anymore. Like just apply on LinkedIn. And then other people like, oh yes, you've basically done this job already because like, you know, your past job was basically doing this job that you're applying for, but you need a college degree right now, sorry. And it's just a lot of that, a lot of rejections, a lot of getting her hopes up and then like getting like let down by people like, oh, we already filled the job, blah 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 blah, just a lot of that. Then one day, I think it was like right after she just got like a rejection, after getting her hopes up from something that she was like kind of really excited for, and then she goes in and then the receptionist guy's like, oh, they already found someone for the job, sorry, the posting's filled, whatever. And then she leaves, and then her bus is delayed, and then right across the street from like the bus stop she was at, she sees the beef and she's like, you know what, like let me go in there, like I want a coffee, I want like a quick sandwich or something. So she goes into the beef and then lives were changed, baby. Immediately it's a chaotic environment, which we know the beef, very on par, very, we get it, we get her, we know, we've been there before, I've seen this one before, you know. We immediately meet Ritchie, and he's his usual like personal people person kind of guy. Like obviously he gives her a free coffee and then literally gives her a free sandwich too. She takes her coffee and her sandwich, she goes to sit in the dining area, like where they have the arcade stuff set up, whatever. She goes to sit there eating the sandwich, and then we see like Mikey, Fack, and then Ritchie, like they're like at the arcade playing the game or whatever, and then Tina's eating her sandwich and she's like literally sobbing, crying her eyes out. And at first I was like, oh my god, is the sandwich that bad? But I think it was mainly just like, you know, just feeling so like defeated, and you're just like, I'm trying so hard and I just keep getting like the door slammed in my face, like this is so annoying. So it makes sense why she's crying. Honestly, I would have cried as well. I would have cried a lot if I was in her position. So very valid cry session. And then Mikey comes over to comfort her, and then we get a really awesome heart-to-heart moment conversation between the two of them, and it felt like the kind of conversation that you could only have with a stranger, you know what I mean? Like a truly honest, I'm saying exactly how I'm feeling, blah 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 kind of conversation that you could only have with a stranger, because like when you're talking to a stranger, like you have nothing to lose, you're not trying to impress them, you're not trying to like save face, you're not trying to do certain things that you would do with a person that you already know. Like you want to seem your best self to people, like, you know, usually, but like with a stranger it's like, I'm probably never gonna see you after this moment. It's like, why not just be 1000% honest with you right now? So that's kind of conversation we get from them. Like they literally talk about like all the bad stuff going on in their lives, her talking about her losing her job, she worked at that place for 15 years, like they didn't give a crap about her, blah blah blah. Him talking about like the stressfulness of the restaurant, money issues with the restaurant, etc etc. And then they also talk about like dreams, how like some people have dreams and some people know exactly what they want to do and like they're good at it, and other people don't, and where do we lie on that like spectrum kind of a vibe. And yeah, just a really good conversation, first time meeting. I loved how honest it was and just deep, and it was just so like, I had nothing to lose, why not bare my soul right now for no real reason except it might make me feel a bit better. And then like they literally like say all their problems. It's like, do we feel better? It's like, not really, but it was cool to get it out, I guess. And now I need a brief moment to talk about her husband, David. I love him, he's awesome, he was so supportive and nice. And then there was a part where she was like, oh, like, is your company hiring for like a washed up old lady? He's like, you mean a beautiful young woman? And I'm like, David, Sweet man, I love you. I love this episode. And usually I'm not a girl that likes a flashback episode kind of a vibe, but the bear is teaching me to love flashback episodes. So thank you, bear. And thank you, edebiri, for directing this. Thank you. Wow. Hello, and we're back sitting on the floor because why not? Let's just jump into episode 7, baby. Here we go. So there might be a potential poaching situation happening very soon because the Adam guy, the one that worked at Olivia Colman's restaurant, he's now opening up his own place since Olivia Colman's restaurant is closing. He met with Sid for coffee and he's like, Sid, I want you to run the place. I want you to be running the place. I want you to be fully in charge. She's like, what's the vibe of the place? He's like, you choose the vibe. You're in complete control of everything. And she's like, okay, I'm definitely gonna give this like a little bit of a think. I'm definitely gonna give this a little thinker. Thank you for like thinking of me. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm definitely gonna give this a little think. And I'm personally trying not to worry or like stress out about the situation because like, I don't know, I literally see both sides and I'm like, it hurts me to really think about this situation because I love Sid being at the bear and like her dynamics with everyone and the relationship she has with everyone, and I just can't imagine her not being there. But at the same time, I get her feeling underappreciated and like what the restaurant has now become is not what she originally imagined it to be. Like I get her. So if she did leave, I would get it and I would have to stand with her, I think. And I would have to stand with her, but I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think that far ahead about things. And all of that is literally just another reason why she's like so hesitant on signing the contract, which is another thing that's valid. And at the same time, like, you know, everybody's like, sign the contract, Sid, but nobody's asking her, hey, why haven't you signed the contract yet? Like, what's going on? Like, do we need to talk about it? Like, what do we need to talk about for us to, you know, get you to sign that contract? You know what I mean? Because at this point, like, they should know it's not a matter of her just like not having time to sit down and click a button and sign it. Now they should know it's like there's something more brewing there. But at the same time, everybody's stressed and blah blah blah. Everybody has other little things going on, but they can't worry about this little thing going on, which is not even a little thing. It is a big thing. And it's a stressful thing. I'm confused. Anyway, though, Ibra is finally getting his help in that to-go window, and it's finally running like a well-oiled machine. Everybody is doing their thing. It's looking great. And there was a little moment of Ibra smiling, and it was awesome. I'm really happy that he finally got his help. Now, the only thing that's making money will make even more money. Period. And then finally, I'm very scared to say this, but we end this episode with Sugar going into labor. It happens at a restaurant depot. She's like going to do like an order thing for people, getting some seafolds and blah blah blah. And then as she's packing everything into her car, her water breaks, or like she goes into labor, whatever. And it's so insane because right before like the moment where she like goes into labor, we see services starting. So everybody's like putting on their aprons, putting their phones away, locking them in lockers. And then we cut to the scene of her going into labor. So I'm like, oh my god, nobody's gonna answer the phone. Who is she gonna call? Like, everybody's there working. Pete's still on his trip, just like I called it. Pete's still on his trip, so who's she gonna call? Mom? I don't know if I could see that happening, but like maybe she would call her mom or Claire, you know, because she's doctor adjacent, so maybe Claire. I don't know, man. I don't know what's gonna happen. Okay, so we start things off with Sugar driving herself to the hospital. My jaw literally dropped to the floor. I'm like, nobody in that parking lot could have like helped her out, but also valid because like I'm not calling an ambulance. Like, if I can maybe drive, like, you are not catching me paying $2,000 for an ambulance. So I get her, but that still just made me literally like, are you kidding me, girl? Why are you driving yourself? And that was like a stressful first little opening of like her driving herself to the hospital and like trying to call people, and none of those calls work. So she ends up calling mom. So technically I was right about both things that I said. I was like, is she gonna try to call Claire? Is she gonna try to call her mom? I was right. Anyway, though, we get the Jamie Lee Curtis cameo that I have been waiting and asking for. Finally, her mom meets her at the hospital, and then her mom is just there with her throughout most of it, not all of it, most of it. And that's kind of what this episode is, just them at the hospital, her in labor, her mom being there with her. So yeah. And as with any tumultuous and like strained familial relationship, we see both like the ups and downs between them in this moment. Like moments where Sugar's annoyed at Donna and like they're just clashing and arguing, and then there are other moments when things are like nice and calm and like chill between them, and Donna's telling a story. Specifically, I think it was like Mikey's birth story and Carmen's birth story. Nat's just like chilling and listening, and then other moments on top of that where Donna's actually like mothering and like trying to like take care of Nat, just like little mom moments, which is cute to see. We love that. We see both sides of the spectrum, which makes sense. They have a tumultuous relationship. Obviously we're gonna see ups and downs, but I did love seeing the ups between them. And Nat also talks about like how she feels like she's gonna bring all of that childhood stuff into her mothering. She talks about how she's scared that she's gonna be a bad mother. She's gonna be just like her mom, or she's gonna like make her daughter feel the way that she felt when she was a kid, and she really doesn't want that, and she's like scared about that. And that was like one of the main reasons why she didn't tell her mom or like want her mom to be a part of like the pregnancy in any way. I think there was a line, I might be butchering it right now, but I think she says like, I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want you to bring all of your stuff with you into this, which is completely valid. And then Donna is like actually really apologetic about it, and she's like talks about how she's trying to like work on herself. And Donna also tells her like, you're gonna be a good mom, everything's gonna be okay, like your daughter's gonna be okay, like everything's going to be fine. And honestly, it was just really nice to see that moment and like see them just like finally have that conversation that they probably need to have since that literally was like a teenager or whatever. Like we finally have that, and that's our first step to healing, folks. Talking, communicating, trying to communicate, trying to talk to each other. First step, let's go. And then literally at one point, I think it was like towards the end, Sugar's like, I'm really glad that you're here right now, which is like such a simple statement, but it truly means like so much. Like that was such an important line, because like she never wanted her mom here. She would dodge her calls. Like this whole season we've seen her like dodging her calls, missing calls, not calling her back, whatever. And now she's like, I'm glad you're here right now. Her saying that is just such a huge thing and like a really awesome step in like the right direction for them two. And I hope the relationship just continues to like heal and get worked on. One conversation one day isn't gonna like erase all the past stuff or even like put us in a really awesome place that we want to be in, but it's of course the first step to getting to that place. So that's awesome. Great, good for them, love it. And then Peter does end up making it at the end, which is also nice. And like I definitely have said this before and I'll also keep saying it, but he is a great person. I love Peter. He's gonna be a great dad, perfect for her. I will never stop saying it. He's perfect for her. Love him. He's gonna be a great dad, and Sugar's gonna be a great mom. Let's just jump right into episode 9. No small talk. Here we go. So Marcus is trying to make some magic. I think he's trying to come up with like a new dish, something like innovative, different. I remember there was one episode he mentioned like wanting to do something with like a flower, violet. His mom likes it, so I think that's what he's trying to cook up right now. Something innovative, something cool, something fresh, something magical, which I'm here for. And yeah, good for you, Marcus. Keep it pushing. So next we see some reviews are starting to roll in, both good and bad, but I don't think it's the review that we're waiting for, like the review like from the Tribune. That's not come out yet, but there's some other ones starting to like roll in. And honestly, during this whole moment, like where we're seeing the reviews starting to come in, it's like kind of like a montagey thing. So like it's just like little like flashes of the reviews coming up, and it's happening so fast I can barely read those headlines. So I saw some stuff that was like the worst dining experience I ever had, and the other stuff where it's like, oh, this is so good, like the bear is so great, blah blah blah. So it's giving like mixed vibes. Like I said, it's not like the review that we're waiting for, so these kind of, I guess, don't fully truly matter. I don't know. Also during this like montagey review-ish moment, it's like during service and stuff, so like we kind of see like Carmi just like spiraling. Like Carmi's definitely spiraling, and I think everybody can see that, but like nobody's pulling him to the side and being like, hey dude, you're spiraling, like let's maybe, you know, like you're kind of going a little crazy right now, let's chill, but nobody's doing that. And then we move into after service, after the cleaning and everything, and it's just Sid and Carmi in the kitchen, whatever, and Sid's about to tell him about the opportunity that she got with like Adam, like the whole like job offer thing, but then she chickens out, doesn't do it at the last second. And honestly, during that whole moment, I really thought she was about to do it, and I was actually so scared to see it happen, but then she didn't do it. And at the same time I was like, phew, thank you, but then also I'm like, come on, we need to do this at some point, so let's just get it over with, you know. And then also during that conversation, Carmi invites her to the Ever funeral, like the Ever restaurant funeral service thing. At first she's like hesitant, like no, like I don't think I should be there, and he's like no, like you should. And then I think it ended with her being like, okay, yeah, I'll come. And it's happening tomorrow, and I'm very interested to see like what that vibe is going to be, because the Adam guy is also going to be there, because obviously he worked at the restaurant. So I wonder if there's going to be like a him Carmi moment where he's talking about the situation with Sid, because like I said, she still hasn't even said it to Carmi yet. This whole situation just seems like it's gonna be a bit of a mess, and I'm both excited and nervous and scared to see it. Yes. Okay, and then some other things happen, but more importantly, we find out from Uncle Cicero that if the Tribune gives the restaurant a bad review, he's going to pull the plug on the whole restaurant. It's getting shut down, it's over, it's donezo, boom. But that's kind of only a half truth, because right after that moment, when he's talking to Carmi, he then is getting into his car to leave, and like the computer guy is there, and we find out that basically Unky lost all of his money, so it's looking like no matter what the review says, the restaurant's going to be donezo, which is awesome, which is great. I'm scared. Next we get a Sid x Pete moment. She goes over to the house to like give some food for like them and the baby, whatever. Honestly didn't expect it. Like I said, I love when an unlikely duo moment happens. It just warms something in my heart when people that never talk to each other. It's cool, it's fun. Anyway though, I thought we were going to see Nat and the baby in this moment, but we didn't. Very sad. I still don't even know the baby's name, also very sad. But later, more towards the end of the episode, we do see Nat like just watching the baby in the crib and just like smiling. thing, and then she takes a picture and sends it to her mom, and like that's such like a small simple little gesture, but it obviously just says so much between them, and like how they are really getting into a place where like they're trying to heal their relationship. Everything that happened in that last episode, we're still building on that, which is great and awesome. And then finally, overall throughout the whole episode, we kind of got like little teases of like Carmi maybe going to say something to Claire, maybe going to apologize, maybe finally going to have the much needed conversation that those two need to have. Maybe like he was going to initiate that, whatever. But at the end of the day, ultimately he does not do any of that. There's a moment like he's about to call, he's in the fridge and he's about to call her, but then he doesn't, etc, etc. We have a bunch of little moments like that pretty much throughout this episode. There's still a fair amount of unresolved issues, and I don't know how we're going to address those issues and solve them all in one episode, so that's cool. Issue number one, the whole Sid situation. She has to say that to him, and then also it has to be like decided on. Then the review, we have to see what the review is, and then still the restaurant still might get shut down because Unky Cicero doesn't have any money anymore. Great. And then the Claire situation, we have to start that conversation, and then is one conversation even enough to solve that issue, to solve that whole thing? Probably not. I think they need to have many conversations. We have a lot of little things going on, and will it be wrapped up in a pretty little bow at the end of episode 10? At the end of the season? I don't know. Nothing more to say except see you after I watch episode 10. See you after I watch the season finale of The Bear season 3, baby. The first thing that I need to say is that every single open-ended storyline that I had previously stated I hoped would be resolved or like somewhat solved in this last episode was literally not at all resolved, and they were also kind of barely even discussed this episode. Woo! So Sid did not tell Carmi about this job opportunity thing. Carmi and Claire did not have any sort of conversation in this episode, and we also did not get to see what the freaking Tribune review says, which is awesome, which is great. Now that I got that out of the way, let's talk about the stuff that did actually happen in this episode. Okay, here we go. So basically this whole episode is just the funeral restaurant service at the Ever restaurant, Olivia Colman's restaurant. We see actual real life chefs and Will Poulter. Hi, how are you? How you doing? Love him. Hey. And we see them at this like funeral service thing, and mainly we're at Carmi and Sid's table throughout this whole night, and it's just like all the chefs like giving like their little like personal stories, anecdotes, which is actually cute. If I was actually into chefs and like cooking, whatever, this moment would have been like so big for me. At one point, more towards the end of dinner-ish, I don't know, at some point during this night, Carmi has a convo with the evil chef. I have no idea what his name is. Already forgot that guy's name, but you know, the guy from Community. I don't even know his real name, I can't even think of it. But yeah, Carmi has a convo with him. Very like, I'm surprised he was so like honest.
Why are you such a fucking asshole?
How am I an asshole?
Do you have half an hour?
You're welcome.
I'm welcome? For what?
You were an okay chef when you started with me. And you left an excellent chef. So you're welcome.
You gave me ulcers. And panic attacks and nightmares. You know that, right? You understand that?
Yeah, I gave you confidence and leadership and ability. It fucking worked.
I'm fucking stunned right now.
Dude, you need to unclutch your pearls.
So then the guy eventually leaves. He's like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, bye. And Carmi's just like in disbelief that conversation actually happened, and that this guy is like genuinely the worst person ever, and literally a jerk and horrible. And then Carmi starts laughing a bit, and the way I interpreted that moment was I think he was just finally realizing like none of that matters in a way, or like he definitely should stop wasting his time thinking about that guy, or like having that guy literally live in his head rent free, because that guy sucks and he will always suck. Like nothing about that guy should matter to Carmi. So I feel like that's what he was like kind of finally realizing that moment. Please, I'm begging and pleading to whoever is in charge on the show, Christopher Storer, please keep Will Poulter's character around. Begging, pleading, crying for it. Luca, please keep him around. Get him to work with Marcus for a little bit. I don't know, just keep that guy around. I love him. I love the moment that him and Sid had, like post dinner, like it's sitting in the kitchen or whatever. Like he was drinking water, she was drinking wine. They were like talking about like family stuff, siblings, relationships randomly. He said he's gonna be around for a few months, so he needs to be around in The Bear season 4 in the kitchen with Sydney, with Marcus, with Carmi. Please, and thank you. Thank you. The party at the end of the night at Sid's apartment was so special to me. That whole moment, I was smiling the whole time. I loved it. The chefs coming together, Tina and Marcus pulling up, the facts pulling up, everybody being there. Like, it was such a little vibe. The only person that literally wasn't there was Carmi, because he was like roaming the streets. We'll talk about him in a second, but that was really special to me. That was really special to me. I love that moment at the party. But then there's something that happens at the party. She's like going into her fridge, then she sees like the review. I think it's like a really old review. It's like a review of the beef. She has like a little cutout of it pinned on her fridge, and like she sees it, and then like she suddenly like starts having a panic attack. She literally leaves her apartment and is like, oh, I'm gonna go out and get something real quick, guys, like I'll be right back. Close the door, and like she starts having a panic attack on her floor. And honestly, I just I want to give Sid a hug. I want to give Sid a hug. I want to tell her that everything's gonna be okay and everything's gonna be fine. At this point, it's giving like she really does want to do the opportunity with the Adam guy, like have the opportunity to do her own thing. But then at the same time, it's like all these relationships that she developed at the bear with Carmi, with Sugar, with Marcus, Tina, literally every single person there, Ritchie, everybody. Like, I feel like she doesn't want to leave that, which is completely valid. But then at the same time, like I said before, like she's feeling a little underappreciated. She's feeling like this is more Carmi's spot than it's like their spot together. So like maybe she wants to go on and do her own thing. I completely get that, and I stand with whatever she decides to do, but I'm just very sad. I'm like, please, I just want to hug you. Everything's gonna be okay. Next, Carmi, as I mentioned before, he's not at the party. He's just like roaming the mean streets of Chicago. For a moment, I thought he was gonna like go to Claire or something. He does not do that. It's Carmi. Why did I ever expect him to be honest and talk about his feelings and have the Claire conversation? Why would I ever expect Carmi to do that? Maybe though, I could maybe see it happening now. Like literally after he had that conversation with the chef guy, he was like very honest about it and just like super like laying it all out there. Then I was like, okay, wait, maybe there could be a Claire moment where he's honest and like just bearing his soul to her too. There wasn't, but now maybe there could be next season. Hopes still very low, expectations low, but maybe it could happen. Anyway though, he's roaming the main streets of Chicago. His phone starts pinging. We see that he has a bunch of missed calls from Unky Cicero, some missed calls from Computer Guy, and then there's also notification that the Tribune Bear review has finally come out. Do we get to read it? No, I already said that. We don't get to see what it is. And then the next thing that happens is the worst thing that I've ever seen. We cut to a to be continued screen. That's how the season ended. I love this show. I love it so much. Hello, here's editing me here weeks after I filmed that clip, weeks after that, here to talk about my final thoughts of The Bear Season 3. Is the lighting weird? Yeah, that's a bit better. That's a bit-ish better. Okay, now that I've had time to sit with it, I think overall, Season 3 definitely felt like a setup for whatever Season 4 is gonna be, and I hope it, like, pays off in that way. Because if Season 3 was not really a setup for Season 4, then it does feel as if the season was kind of just, like, a filler vibe. Like, if we actually don't answer any of the open-ended stuff we have set up in Season 3, then it'll be like, what the heck? What was the point of Season 3? So I truly believe, in my heart of hearts, Christopher Storer, you know, everybody in charge of that show, will answer those open-ended storylines and plots that we have going on, because I believe in them. And yeah, but overall though, I did like Season 3. I think overall it's a strong season, contrary to popular belief, contrary to what the streets have been saying, and people have been like, it's not a good season, it's just very much filler content, very slow paced, etc, etc. The fact that they do kind of like take their time and like really develop things and like put a lot of thought into the development of plot lines and storylines, etc, it just shows how much they care about the characters and how much they care about the story. It just stinks that there wasn't more episodes, I guess, or that this whole season felt like it's just setting up something else and now we're gonna wait for that something else. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. Thank you for watching. See you guys in the next thing. Let's talk in the comments below about The Bear Season 3. Can't wait for Season 4. Now I'm sad that Season 4 is probably not going to come out till literally this time next year, but it's fine. Is it fine? Not really. Thank you. Bye now.